Number 1, Cinco Wacky Rig versus number 8, Popar. The Wacky Rig is free spirit Bill Walton. Didn't get much wackier than that dude, on or off the hardwood. Kermit Washington and Rudy Tomjanovich would forever be linked by a 1977 incident during a brawl in which Washington punched Tomjanovich in the face, nearly killing him. Tomjanovich would resume his career and eventually become an all-star, whereas Washington's 11-year career would forever be defined by that one moment. All right, moving through the final round of the opening weekend on our way to the Sweet 16. Number 1, Cinco Wacky Rig versus number 8, Popar. Just by the virtue of what we got here, you can probably predict the outcome. These are my Cincos that I bought in the off season to prepare for this year. Those Popars are probably 30 some years old. You can even see the rust on the skirts from the hooks. Yeah, the Popar is cool. It's fun. It's loud. Explosive strikes on the surface. But you just can't beat the bass producing nature of these Cinco Wacky Rigs. Cinco wins it running away. All right, honorary captains for the Rapala Rattling Rap number 5 and Rapala Floating Minnow number 4. Bill Laimbeer was always running his mouth trying to rattle his opponents. Did a good job at it. You know the saying, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. So enough about Laimbeer. On to Buckner, who represents the Floating Minnow, a consistent winner on the water. And this fellow was on the court. 72, undefeated high school champion at Thornridge, Illinois. 76, undefeated NCAA champion with the Indiana Hoosiers. 76 gold medal, and then on in 84 with the Boston Celtics and NBA championship. Doesn't get any better than that. All right, next up we have a much anticipated battle of Rapala baits. The number 5 Rapala Rattling Rap versus the number 4 Rapala Floating Minnow. You can tell a lot about a guy looking in his tackle box by how many different models of a certain bait he has, how many different color schemes. It's all confidence. If you're confident in a bait, you're going to throw it a lot, you're going to experiment, you're going to have multi-colors, and exactly what is happening here. You can also notice these baits have larger treble hooks than the factory hooks. That's another vote of confidence from my side, that I replaced the factory trebles with larger hooks. I knew I was going to use these baits. Some of the other baits in my tackle box that didn't get much use still have the old factory trebles on them. In this case, it's tough to pick. The Rapala Rattling Rap was my introduction to lipless crankbaits. However, the Rapala Floating Minnow was an introduction to bass fishing in general. Therefore, Rapala Floating Minnow moves on to the next round. All right, number 11, Jitterbug versus number 3, Man's Baby 1 Minus. For the Jitterbug, we have Connie Hawkins, one of the most flashy, flamboyant, attention-getting players of his time. Might actually be Phil Jackson getting an elbow, too, in that picture. I'll have to research that. For the Man's Baby 1 Minus, needed somebody diminutive, and they didn't come much smaller than Muggsy Bogues. All right, next up we have number 11, Jitterbug versus number 3, Man's Baby 1 Minus. Not much doubt who's going to win this one, I would say, huh? In fact, that's actually a jitter stick, because I don't really have a Jitterbug. As opposed to, I got nearly a whole utility box filled with Man's Baby 1 Minus crankbaits. This thing went to a region for crankbaits where it had not previously gone, and it has been a producer ever since. Got to dig the 1 Minus. It lives on to fight another day. All right, number 7, Hula Popper versus number 2, Baby Brush Hog. Quick, name a player from the University of Hawaii. Did you come up with Tom Henderson? Neither did I. Despite being a basketball junkie in the 70s and 80s, I had no clue and had to do some research on that one. For the Baby Brush Hog, we needed somebody tiny, so nobody better than Nate Tiny Archibald, who actually was 6'1", but in the NBA, I guess that is tiny. And there's nothing tiny about this particular issue of basketball cards. It's 76-77 Topps NBA set were these oversized cards. Pretty cool back in the day when I was collecting with my buddy, and still kind of cool to look at all these years later. Next up, we have number 7, Hula Popper versus number 2, Baby Brush Hog. You can tell from my tackle collection here, fully stocked on the Brush Hog versus a probably 45 or 50-year-old Hula Popper. The only one I have. I had another one, but I think the skirt rotted off of it and ended up just throwing it away. So no doubter here. Baby Brush Hog's going to go on to the next round. We bid farewell to another classic bait, but it was a good ride. See you later, Hula Popper.